Salutations, warriors! Today I want to talk about the National Bipolar Attention-Seeking Drama Addicts Association of America, or the NBASDAAA. No, I'm just being silly, guys. This video is actually inspired by an article I read from UCLA's Dr. Billy Gordon, which talks about drama addicts, or dramatics as we'll call them. Neuroscience is revealing that drama queens, attention seekers, and even those looking for vengeance are activating the same neural reward pathways as substance abusers and drug addicts. That isn't a stretch or exaggeration, it's a scientific fact. In the same breath, having bipolar disorder, a lot of us become mania addicts. I'm a mania-chaser myself and a recovering drama addict. I can't even begin to describe how intoxicating certain types of mania can be. I've had people assume I was high on drugs when I was, in all reality, just high on life. It's no secret that I have abused drugs. That's totally including stimulants, and I'll tell you, from experience, there isn't much of a difference between euphoric hypomania and some of the drugs I've done. Overall, they're very similar from the high to the come down. As with any form of addiction, I don't care what it is, eventually you build up a tolerance that requires more and more to get the same biochemical response. That means more drama, more fights, more crises to get the same thrill. We all know couples that fight from the moment they wake up until the moment they sleep, with some form of cliche make-up sex mixed in there somewhere. Wash, rinse, and repeat. I never used to understand how people like that could stay together. I had no idea that they were secretly enabling each other's addictions. Fighting and sex? They might as well have cake by the ocean in a roller coaster on 420. I hope you get the references there. It's so hard to break the cycle, especially if you don't even know you're an addict. Let's go way back to when we were infants. Newborns are entirely dependent on getting their mother's attention to survive. The more their needs are neglected, the more they relate getting attention with survival and safety. This causes them to believe that they have to go to whatever lengths to get attention in order to survive. Not getting attention becomes a threat to their survival. What do threats do? Activate our fight or flight brain. As adults, we've learned to equate lack of attention as a danger, thus responding to it as a threat. Thus why we start a fight with our partners, bosses, coworkers, family. It's guaranteed attention now, isn't it? Drama gets us the attention we didn't even know we secretly needed. So we start some shit. All of a sudden our brains are pickled, bathed in pain-suppressing, pleasure-inducing endorphins. Heroin and other opiates mimic the same biochemical or neurochemical response. This is why drama eases the anxiety of wanting more attention than we're getting. Another consideration is that by using drama as a drug, it feels good, which means it's activating our reward pathways. This releases dopamine, the brain's happy dance drug. Evolution has rewarded us so that we want to do whatever we need to do to survive. As with all addiction, it starts as a goal-oriented behavior. For example, I'm turning on the water because my goal is to wash my dirty hands. This turns into a stimulus response. I'm turning on the water because every time I want to wash my hands, I automatically turn it on. Now it's almost a subconscious habit, just like chasing mania. So how do we get ourselves out of the NBASDAAA? It's not that easy. You can't just flip a switch and change your brain's hardwiring. You can never erase the lasting effects of early childhood trauma, but it's manageable. I rely a lot on other people, the ones I trust to be honest enough to tell me how it is. If someone says I'm overreacting, it might not always be gaslighting. It might actually be a point depending on the context. We do have to take the bipolar into account. I have to constantly ask myself if a situation would normally bother me so much. I'll start all sorts of drama and shit when I'm unwell. Then when the mood changes, I'm not passionate at all about the things that were the end of the world a week ago. If I'm the one being bothered by someone else, I process the attention-seeking behavior by feeling empathy, aka sorry for the person. For example, this concept has helped me with how pissed off I get when I hear a loud vehicle or music blasting. I realized that chances are this is a major attention seeker who was probably neglected as a child. If I picture them as a damaged child driving around, it takes away that feeling like they're intentionally pissing me off. It's important to remember that not all neglect is because of a lack of love. Sometimes people only have so much to give, and sometimes that isn't enough. Forgiving people for being who they are is getting to higher ground. Here's a closing thought. Grievance politics and drama programming in America is a drug problem. When you look at it that way, major news networks like News are just as rich and cynical as drug kingpins like Pablo Escobar. In the case of News, they're also high on their own supply. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes my brief rant on the subject. I hope it was thought-provoking and that you have a couple of good takeaways. As always, there's a link in the video description where I can be reached for support. Take extra good care, and I'll be back here soon with more Polar Warrior videos. Stay well.